Hello and welcome to Revved Up, the very first segment of a show we carefully have put together to explain different machines that actually run by the engine. Now, from cars to earth-moving machines, this is your one-stop center. We shall try and explain to you the luxury part of, for example, some of these cars, and also explain to you why you need some of these cars in your garage. What makes certain cars different? What makes certain machines different? What so many innovations have come out? We shall explain all that on Revved Up.
On this edition of Revved Up,
Hello, I'm Andrew Kabura. Now, part of the segments on the show is making sure you actually maintain your machines. Let's start off with car care.
Car Care, brought to you by Shell Helix. This week we bring you some useful tips on checking your vehicle's oil. Not only does this increase your engine's performance, it also increases your car's life expectancy. First, make sure your engine has been switched off for at least 10 minutes. And check that your car is parked on level ground. Then, open the car bonnet and take out the dipstick. Wipe it with a clean rag. Insert the dipstick back into the pipe and then pull it out. Look at the film of oil on the dipstick and note how high it reaches. If it is near the lower level marker, you will need to add more oil. Test the quality of the oil by rubbing it between your fingers. If it leaves a dirty smudge, it probably needs to be changed. It is recommended to check your engine's oil once a week to keep your vehicle running at maximum efficiency.
How you doing, my Navio? Thank you very much for coming through.
Of course.
Big ride, huh?
Me, warming up.
Right, but you have so many fans out there. I don't know if you know this. You have a couple of folks who like hip hop.
Yeah.
Tell me, what do you think your journey has been like? Are you one of those rappers who say, I've had quite a smoother, faster journey? And what do you make of your latest stop now?
Yeah, I think my journey's been, progressive. I've kind of changed genres and the way I do music so many times. To start off as a battle MC, to continue that through school when I'm in SA, to be in the streets like that, and then to come through and start doing commercial music back in East Africa. It's quite a change. I think we've, me and my team have handled it the right way. So we've definitely come up the rough way, but it's nice that we're finally here and we can say we're on top.
There's a time when a couple of folks were saying, hip hop wasn't the biggest thing in Uganda.
Yeah.
You're right in the middle of that. Do you think the Ugandan public is starting to warm up to it now?
Definitely. I mean, just as far as online, for example, I was number 8 in terms of like every single Ugandan person in terms of the following online, and to have a hip hopper even in the top 30, top 40, would have never been possible a few years ago. So the fact that I'm number 8 is one of those amazing things. The fact that, I was one of the first people to be nominated for international awards, as a hip hop artist at African, and continental awards is also something amazing. So I think hip hop is definitely building. And when you see what we do on stage, you need to be in the crowd and see what we do as well on stage, whether it's me, Gravity, Munji. We're rocking crowds just as much as any of the top tier Afro pop artists. So hip hop is definitely here to stay.
All right, man, let's talk about your right now.
Yes.
For starters, I said thank you for coming to the show. We do appreciate one of the biggest rappers in the region, continent as well. What do you like about this car? For how long have you had it, and specifically, why did you get this one?
Yeah, I've had the car for a couple years. I decided to get this because it's a good balance of corporate and still sleek. Yeah, for us, we found our music was sort of transferring. Not only were we upcoming artists anymore. I had the VX with the huge wheels. I've had the L Grand, which was very sleek. But I felt I needed a car that combined the two. Something still sleek, but I could still pull out, and push with the big boys. So, yeah, I decided to opt for this 2009, ML. And it's one of those cars that I think was perfect for me. Speed is great. ABS is on point. Yeah. If you're going up to, when you're in areas and it's -3 degrees, you can warm your seat. The system is great in terms of music. I can't really complain about the car, surprisingly. Yeah.
All right, every time we host a celebrity on Revved Up, specifically celebrity rides, we also try and put them in a corner and ask them what kind of advice they would give folks out there. If you're going to buy a car, what should you look out for? I mean, so many guys want to buy cars like these, probably cheaper cars, more expensive cars. What would you advise someone when you're going to buy a car? What, for example, are Navio's top 3 tips? What someone should look out for to get a car?
I think, first of all, make sure that it's affordable for you. There are a lot of people who make $10 million and want to spend the $10 million on the car. Yeah. That's not practical.
Is that what you're making, though?
hey, for the next show. Next show. Yeah. But yeah, you make $10 million, then you want to spend $10 million on a car. That's just not practical. Yeah. You need to be able to maintain whatever you own. So, do something that's affordable for you, something that speaks to you. For me, I like the security. I like the fact that it's got a bit of tint on it. I can still use it from the corporate side, to the street, long distances, short distances. So I like to get something that's dynamic. I'd always advise someone to get a car that's versatile. And then the third piece of advice was to be, get something that you feel you're comfortable actually inside physically. If you can sit inside your car, feel good, enjoy the space in there for whatever you need to get done. I'd say that's one of the most important things. How you feel when you grab the wheel is really important, because you don't want to fall asleep at the wheel. You don't want to crash the car over something and risk people's lives. So get something that you feel physically is comfortable to drive.
All right, my final question to Navio now is, he's a rapper, and we know rappers for swag, Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't come with a cape and everything. Yeah. Wait, when you're getting this car, did you have a feeling that, what, I'm the best rapper in the country, I'm getting the headlines on the continent, and get something that when I'm on Kampala Road, everyone's like, what?
To say the truth, that would never be my personal way that I'd get a car, but I do have a team around me. Yeah. So when I just noticed with every car that I was suggesting we should get, my manager was like, not flashy enough. Not flashy enough. So, we had to kind of come to a compromise and a balance between a practical car, which is what I will always get, between what the brand also talks about. Because I'm not representing just myself, I'm representing a country, so the people are like, hey, listen, we put you in a position, we give you our money, we buy 20,000 records when you come out. They're like, at least show us what our blood, sweat and tears is buying into, So I build my brand up because my fans deserve that. And that's the only reason I'd get something like this, as opposed to just a nice boda bike to be cruising around in peacefully, I
know, but thank you very much for coming on board, man. Really appreciate it.
Most definitely.
There you go. Now, the motor industry is growing bigger and bigger, year in, year out. It's even getting more luxurious as well. Now, on this week's International Feature, Revved Up focuses on the Mercedes driverless car. You're probably wondering, what is that? Well, take a look.
The Mercedes F015 is more than just a car. It is a glimpse into the future. Sleek and silvery, this incredible innovation in the vehicular world is a testament to the advance of technology in the modern age. This is the car that has been a mere dream for decades, the stuff of sci-fi movies and supervillains. This is the driverless car. Visually stunning, the Mercedes F015 seems to glide effortlessly across the ground, powered by a hydrogen fuel cell electrical engine with 134 horsepower and an acceleration speed of 0 to 100 kilometers in 6.7 seconds. The polished silver exterior, along with its LED lights and snub-nose hood, gives this car a futuristic look and appeal. The interior does not disappoint either, showcasing 4 plush white leather seats which rotate fully, giving the passengers the option of facing each other while inside. Paneling the sides are 6 interactive touchscreens that allow music selection, communication with your contact list, and a special feature which projects a variety of scenery onto the windows and virtually transports you to a location of your choosing. There is the option of manually driving this car as well, but with so many reasons not to, it's unlikely that this car will receive much handling. The Mercedes F015 is due to be released in 2017 with an approximated price of $300,000 to $500,000.
Let's talk about the pole planter. We are coming here because everyone has been talking about it, and it seems very important to the whole landscape back here in Uganda. First, where did the idea come from? What got you guys thinking this much about the pole planter?
We have a client, Salt Engineering Services Limited. So I've been to their plant. It's a pole treatment plant in Lukazi. So I got curious to find out what they do with the poles after they're treated. They let me know that they do pole planting for the electricity companies. So I'm like, so how do you do this? I got to know it's done manually. It's about 51 plus people a day for just 16 poles. So then got me thinking, we have the backhoe, the JCB backhoe. It's a very versatile machine. It has so many attachments. Can we come up with one that could solve this problem? So we get to our fabrication department. They come up with a grab. But this grab, we had to use chains and belts to tighten the pole onto the grab. We did a few demos and we noticed it takes longer and it slows down the operator himself and the pole is not firm. So it would bring about safety issues. After a while, we come up with a hydraulic grab. So it gets it off the ground, it does a 360 turn with it and it places it anywhere.
I want us to go through that procedure once again, because you've told me about how the whole idea came about, which I think is very important in terms of helping so many people out there, whether it's the electrical companies, whether it's the telecommunication companies as well. But take us through how specifically it works. We shall have an opportunity of looking at the machine itself in operation. But from a theoretical perspective, what happens? What starts? How does it go on? And how does the pole get planted?
We could see from this. This is the JCB, the backhoe. So what happens, our grab is placed onto here. It's like a fork. It's placed here, then it holds the pole from the ground. Then it does the twist, the 360 turn. So then the back bucket is taken off. We attach the auger of different sizes. We have the 12-inch, 18, 24, and 36, depending on the pole sizes you want. Our auger does the fast digging. It digs deep, comes out, shakes off the soil. Then when he's done with the length he wants in, he'll just turn around this very machine, then position the pole in the hole. So this means we like to call it the 1, 2, 3, 4 pole planter. This means one JCB, which is the machine, instead of the 51 laborers, 2 2, those are 2 laborers, your operator and the turn boy. Then 3, these are the 3 actions. We have the drill, lift, and place. Then 4, that's 4 poles an hour.
All right, every time we have a machine, we compare how good it is to, the manual labor. And if I could ask you, what's the difference between this pole planter and manual labor in terms of production?
With the pole planter, you plant 4 poles an hour. So our working hours are 8 hours. You have 32 poles a day. So if we compare this to the manual labor, you'll have 16 poles a day. So at the end of the month, you have 800 poles. If you go the manual way, you'll have about 400 or even less than 400 poles. Then, of course, we look at how much you're going to spend on it. So if you have the machine, you're going to have your 2 laborers who you'll have on a monthly pay. Then look at maintenance for the machine and fuel. Fuel is a very important factor. If you look at it on a daily rate or your daily expenditure, you're going to find it much cheaper to use the 2 guys, the machine, and fuel, other than using about 58 people, because you'll have different people to do the digging, the planting, the positioning, and you're going to pay them different prices for their different works.
I mean, new machines come into the market all the time. The bigger question is how we welcome them. Do we actually appreciate the machinery that is coming in? If I could ask you, how well has it been welcomed by the different companies, by the public here?
We had to identify who is going to need the pole planter. These are the electricity companies. We have Womeme, we have the distributing branch, we have the transmission branch, and the different private contractors. So we have approached Womeme, they've come on board. We've approached the private contractors who are subcontracted to do the actual pole planting. I could say they've welcomed it highly, and most of them are getting into the finances to have this with them.
Priscilla, thank you very, very much. Much appreciated. Now, one of the beauties of driving cars like these ones is that they're luxurious and you also enjoy the experience. But what is more beautiful about the motor world is actually having the classics, looking at where most of these vehicles have come from. So what we have done on Revved Up is compile for you classic cars, the very first cars back in 1900 to 1910. Probably will be shocked at the difference in picture between those cars and these ones. Just take a look.
Ooh, tyo. What up, man? It's your boy Navio, aka The Chosen. Keep it locked right here to Revved Up on NTV, baby. Yeah.
With its commanding presence and advanced technologies for drivers and passengers alike, the new Sorento stands out among today's modern SUVs. The Sorento 2016 is the latest model from South Korea giant Kia Motors to be brought to Uganda.
So the Kia Sorento is one of the more luxurious cars, one of the more modern SUVs as well. Beautiful car from the outside and the inside as well. It's actually one of the first cars to test the roads here in Uganda. And just to take you through the car, the specifications as well, we're always joined by the experts themselves. Talking about experts, I'm joined by Mr. Joseph Semuwemba, who is CEO Motor Center East Africa, the Kia distributors here in Uganda.
The Kia Sorento 2016 is the car to have. anytime, anywhere in the world today. It has just gone through a total refinement, 360 degrees. 3 inches of length added and 1 inch of width added. Better wheelbase, better stability, touch gadgets all around the car. Top-notch material used, both off and on road. It's the best car to have today. No question about it.
The interior design boasts a modern and refined look with maximum comfort. On the steering wheel, you have buttons to control the radio, hands-free Bluetooth, and cruise control. You also get air-conditioned seats, front and rear air vents, a USB port for your phone, an electronic handbrake, and even a panoramic sunroof.
One of the most interesting things is that everything inside is touch. Nothing mechanical, everything is touch. For example, if I'm going to start this car and leave to wherever I'm going, I just have to use the power button. It has a button for a start. It's very simple. You press the brakes and there you go. Very simple. And then you're off to a good start.
The Kia is sensible too. This model comes with a 2.2-litre diesel engine, which makes it very fuel efficient for a mid-size SUV. And when you take a look at the rear, you can see that it comes with a row of back seats, each row providing unmatched legroom. But what's it like to drive?
Like I said, this is a total refinement of the car, a total turnaround. The pump steering system is not just a power steering system, it's way softer. It gives you a lot of comfort and ease of maneuverability. A feeling that you're totally in control of the car. And that it's not just the pump steering system, but the suspension, the ABS system, the electronic braking system is all matched to give you total comfort and control of the car.
Everyone looks out for acceleration, everyone looks out for, because if you're someone who likes driving a little speed, you also want to be sure the car can actually brake as fast as it can. How good is this one?
It has the anti-lock braking system, so this car will brake whichever, whether on slippery ground or otherwise. It will brake instantly without having to skid. And it also has the EBD, the electronic braking system. These two combine to give you maximum safety standards.
The Sorento also delivers on its off-road performance. It comes with 3 driving modes: Normal, Eco, and Sport, to deliver the right performance for different driving conditions. Comfortable, stylish, and efficient, the Kia Sorento is a fine example of a modern mid-size SUV. Suitable for both business and family, the Sorento's unique design offers something for everyone.
All right, so the Kia Sorento, specifically the 2016 edition, brilliant car. We've gone through it, we've felt what it can bring on the table. It's very comfortable, it's got the speed. More importantly, it's got the safety. 8 airbags in the car, plus it's very fuel efficient. 2.2 is what its engine is. And do remember, you can as well join us on Facebook and know all the cars we shall be talking about, the different machines as well. Give us your feedback. Which car, for example, do you want on the show next? We shall be looking at all the cars and all the different machines and giving you all the specifications. So I think we are done talking about the car. What I'm going to do now is drive out of here and myself enjoy the experience.
Next week on Revved Up.